Okay, everybody. I'm back with yet another video. Where I'm going to be building an autoloader in this one, so please pay attention. Okay, so we'll go over to components directory, create a file in autoload.php, get right to it, use the function SPL autoload register to register a function as an implementation of the autoload feature. So yeah, so we're creating an anonymous function. This takes 3 parameters, but we're interested in just the one, which is the function. Um, so and an anonymous function, just for clarity, is a function without a name. So yeah, this is the prefix for all our namespaces, as you can see here. Namespace components, so we're using that as our prefix, and then I'm going to create another anonymous function, bind it to a variable, so I'm going to call it to replace. Now what this is going to do is return a replacement of the directory separator with a /, because I don't want to repeat this. So directory separator looks like this. It is what we use on namespaces. It's you can build it without using this function, this autoloader, without using this function, but I think it would be a lot better to just use directories. Just use paths that have the / in them. It's /s are a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. Okay, so we've got that. So we have our prefix. Now we need a base directory, which is going to be the components directory. So we're going to be working with these, which is why I'm going to call this replace function. It's going to replace the directory, the core directory path, which is going to look something like this. Comment this out. C XAMPP something, and we want to change that to C XAMPP htdocs. Yeah, you get the picture now. So that's exactly what we're doing with that. So next we want to get the length of the prefix. So string len prefix. If you're keen, you'll realize just how loosely typed this language is, because I could use md_str_len and prefix and Unicode, just character encoding, and I would still get the same result. So I guess it depends. There's just a ton of options. That could be a good thing and a bad thing, but in my experience it's a bad thing because these options only conflate things. Okay, so now we want to find out if the prefix and the class are all the same length. If they're not, then we'll just move on to the next autoloader. If the class basically doesn't exist inside a said directory, if there's no match between the prefix and the class, then in the definition, then we'll just move on to the next autoloader. That's what it does. That's basically what this if does. So we need a relative class, extract a relative class, get class So we're going to extract a class, which is Dodge, that doubles as the name of the file. Dodge, for instance, Toyota, if you want me to use that. I'm going to be able to extract that if it exists inside of this components directory. So we've got extracted the relative class. Again, if you've used Composer, you kind of know what I'm talking about, because Composer also works based on this standard, this PSR4 autoloading standard. Okay, so relative class, extract that. Now I want to get the file, which is going to be the base directory. Again, I want to replace the relative class with, because it's going to have the namespace in it, with PHP. So the namespace is going to correspond to the components directory, and the file is going to correspond to the name of the class, which are the respective directory and file names. Hence the need to replace the relative class definition, because it's going to have a namespace in it. So we're going to validate if this file exists, or you could use if this file. Again, there's just a ton of ways to do this. The file exists, file, then we will require file. And I guess that's it. I think that is our autoloader. So I will head over to Dodge and comment this out. Still need to require that. So I will change this to Autoload PHP. Take that out, and if we get the same result, then the autoloader is working. If we don't, then something went wrong. I may get the same result when I refresh it. So that is our autoloader. I guess that's the code, and I really have to work on my outros. So this is what it looks like, basically. So we could create another class inside of this. I could call it cars. So say I have that, and give it namespace of components, and declare the class cars. Now it's not going to implement the interface we created in the last video, but I'm just showing you exactly what you can do. So we could create a private array of cars. So we could have Toyota, we could have Dodge, again. We could go with car brands. I think BMW. We could, wow. We could go with Lotus, I guess. Yeah. And we could create a function, get all cars. Won't take any parameters, and we could return this as JSON. Okay, we can do that, and then, or we could just return the cars. Oops. Not cats. Wow, I hate cats. This cars, it's a better way. And function get car. Particular index as a parameter. Check if the key exists. Yep. So the key would be the index, and the array to search would be cars. Okay, great. So you'll return this car's index. Okay, great. So that's our function. It's our new class. So I want you to watch closely and see what happens. I can take this out because I don't need to use it. Yep, there's our array. That is the array of, oops, sorry. Um, yeah, wrong window. So that is cars. Those are all the cars, basically. Um, and let's see it. Let's see what happens if we take out the namespace. Class components cars not found. So yeah, this can come in pretty handy. Auto loading, creating our autoloader. So like I said in the last video, please hang on to these files because we're just gonna keep building, just expanding this project. I don't know if we're gonna use any database connections. I'll think about it, but for now, I guess I'm fine working with values stored in memory. I think, yeah. Okay, great. Just happy coding, everyone. I'm out.